None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Do you ever feel like your life is stuck on repeat? You know, it's wake up, work, sleep, repeat. Like a programmed character in a simulation, following the same script every day. You know that there is more to life, like you feel it. The urge to break free, to live on your own terms. And you know that you are, in fact, smart enough to make it happen. So why does it feel impossible to escape? No matter how hard you try, something keeps pulling you back. Here's the inconvenient truth. We live in systemic slavery. But what if I told you that breaking free, it isn't just a fantasy? What if I told you that you could redesign your entire life's operating system, rewriting the code that's been running in the background, controlling your actions, your choices, and your destiny? Well, I've uncovered a method that does exactly that. It's a blueprint for personal transformation that puts you back in the driver's seat of your own life. Not through wishful thinking, but through a strategic, proven approach to personal redesign.
And that's what I'm going to show you today. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get there. But to make the system work, we first need to understand why it's so hard to change our ways. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, which is me. I'm asking you to join my Patreon. It's about $5 a month, and in return, you get extra content, your name in the end credits of my videos, and free access to exclusive courses that I also have on Patreon. I just recently started though, so keep that in mind before joining. Within a few weeks, I will be launching my very first online course exclusively on Patreon, the Scryleus YouTuber Academy, Master the Art of Authentic Storytelling on YouTube. Okay, let's get back to the video. So, we like to think of ourselves as intelligent beings capable of extraordinary feats, and the evidence is everywhere we look. We built awe-inspiring architecture, developed thriving societies, and created complex systems of laws, rules to guide us. Our healthcare has advanced to the point where lives are saved that should have been lost long ago. Instead of hunting for food, we just simply walk into a store and find whatever we need. When we're thirsty, we don't wait for rain, we turn on the tap. When we need light, we don't build a fire, we flip a switch. The list of achievements just goes on. We are, without a doubt, remarkable, and deep down, we all know this. But here's the thing. It doesn't always feel that way, does it? You wake up each day to drag yourself to a job that you hate. You spend most of your week stuck in that miserable routine, and by the time the evening comes, you barely have the energy to do anything other than binge watch Netflix or maybe venture out now and then. Does this sound like the life of those incredible creatures we're supposed to be? No. So, what went wrong? Is it maybe perhaps that you're the exception of the rule? No, of course not. Most people are living lives of quiet desperation. Now, some people might argue that people are just lazy or boring or uninspired, but I don't buy that for a second. I believe that we are the product of a system that's designed to keep us exactly where we are. The way we are. It isn't because society has solved all our problems. It's because society has created a system that thrives on our desperation. Just think about this. Society will offer you loans to buy a house, not because it wants to help you, but because it wants you to be tethered to a paycheck for decades. Loans that take 40 years to pay off, ensuring that you will show up for work every day, no questions asked. And don't get me started on the tax system. It's designed to keep us from becoming too wealthy, just enough to get by, but never enough to break free. And here's the truth. I'm not saying that society is evil. I'm saying that society is a headless machine, pushing us to follow the rules without question. And I want to challenge you with a very simple thought experiment. Now, this one will make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but I need to ask you to bear with me on this one. Keep an open mind. Just consider this. Why is saving the environment important? Now, your immediate reaction might be defensive. You might feel the urge to close down this video, to dismiss the question as obvious, or try to label me as someone who's trying to provoke you. But you see, that's exactly the point I want to explore. You see, most people, they will respond instantly, of course we need to save the environment. But here's the fascinating part. If I ask you to dive deeper, to truly explain why, most people struggle, like really struggle. Try this experiment yourself. Ask someone why protecting the environment matters. Just watch how quickly they default to surface level responses. It's the right thing to do. We need to protect the planet. Climate change is real. These are programmed responses, reflexive statements that sound meaningful but lack genuine, deep reasoning. We've been conditioned to repeat these phrases without critically examining the underlying logic. Now, I am not questioning the importance of environmental protection. I'm not trying to convert you into believing some conspiracy theory. Save the planet, don't save the planet. I don't care what you think about the environment. I'm revealing something more profound, how we're trained to think, react, and respond without true understanding. This is not about environmental politics. This is about understanding how our thoughts are shaped, how we're programmed to accept ideas without questioning their fundamental reasoning. We exist in a very complex system where our beliefs are less about individual thought and more about the collective programming. We're sort of like these interconnected nodes in a very vast social network, absorbing and reflecting back the narratives that we're giving. I'm saying again, society isn't evil. It's an adaptive system constantly optimizing itself, much like how a living organism grows and changes. And we're sort of both its creators and its creations, locked in a continuous feedback loop of influence and response. So the real power lies in recognizing this programming, and not to rebel against it, but to understand it, to see the invisible scripts that guide our thinking and our reactions and our very perception of reality. We have to look beyond society. We have to build lives where our purposes outweigh the purpose imposed on us by the system. Now, this isn't easy because, well, it was never meant to be. Society has conditioned us to seek the path of least resistance, and escaping wage slavery is anything but easy, and that's by design. If you ever tried starting your own business, you've seen firsthand how the system makes it as difficult as possible. Society claims to encourage entrepreneurship, but the truth is, if too many people broke free, the system would collapse. Someone still has to clean the toilets. Someone still has to pack the grocery bags. Now, I made a video explaining why society wouldn't fall apart if more people escaped wage slavery. Society can and will change, but waiting for that to happen it's a losing strategy. It could take decades, even centuries, for any kind of real change. And I just don't have that kind of time. And I'm guessing that neither do you. So, if you want to escape wage slavery, you need to build a personal system. A system that works outside the one designed to keep you trapped. And I won't sugarcoat this. This will take effort on your part. It will require you to unlearn what school and society drilled into you. It will demand new skills, new ways of thinking, and a willingness to reject the status quo. In my video, The Cheat Code to Escape Wage Slavery, I broke down the simplest truth. People who provide value get paid by other people for that value. That's the game. And the sooner you learn to play it, the sooner you can escape. But to get from wage slave to self-sufficient entrepreneur, you need to build a personal system. And I'm going to show you the steps. And it's actually only 2 steps. That's good, right? But first, we need to address the triggering title of this video. And this is an important one. The inconvenient truth about work. Before we dive into any of this, we need to face the uncomfortable reality about wage slavery and ourselves. Right now, as you watch this, you might feel maybe a bit inspired, maybe even determined to break free and take control of your life. But let's be honest. For most people, that feeling won't last. And I know this because, well, I've been there. I've watched thousands of videos just like this one before I finally took the leap, before I stopped being a passive wage slave and started building my own business and my own future. I know the struggle, I know the hesitation. But why? Well, it's because wage slavery doesn't just steal our time. It steals our ability to take action. It conditions us to be passive, to wait for instructions, to only work when we're getting paid. You ever wonder why we're paid by the hour and not the effort? That's no accident. The system needs you to trade time for money, so you never think about working for yourself. You only move when there is a paycheck attached. And that's the problem. No matter how much sense this video makes, your brain will process it like just another episode of Stranger Things as entertainment. And that's why most people won't act. That's why most people will stay trapped. But you don't have to. So, in a few seconds, I'm going to lay out the exact steps to escaping wage slavery. And when I do, you'll have a choice to make. You can either follow them and start breaking free, or you can treat this just like another video and stay trapped forever. The choice is yours. Step 1 is simple, but it's not easy. You need to carve out 1 hour every day to work on your escape. Now, I know that's a lot to ask, but if you can't dedicate even 1 focused hour per day, you might as well stop watching right now, because anything worthwhile requires effort. And I get it, deep down, you want this video to flip some magic switch in your brain and turn you into like a super entrepreneur overnight. But that's not how this works. That's not how anything works. The key to escaping wage slavery isn't grinding until midnight. It isn't working yourself to exhaustion. That's just another lie that the system feeds you. The real key is focused, efficient work. And that starts with 1 single deliberate hour each day. Think of it as going to the gym. It doesn't matter how hard you train or how long. What matters is the consistency and how efficiently you train. And if you want out of wage slavery, you need to train your brain the same way. This means making a sacrifice. Now, what you choose to sacrifice is up to you. Maybe it's your PlayStation, maybe it's your Netflix subscription, but something has to go. because let's be real, you do have time. I hear people say, I don't have time to start a business, I don't have time to start a YouTube channel, but those are just excuses. And I know this because I used to make them too. When I was starting my business, I had to choose, like, it's either quitting YouTube, getting rid of my wife, or stop playing Animal Crossing. Yeah, that game. I choose to put away my Nintendo Switch. I didn't throw it away, I just tucked it away. Animal Crossing is a great game, by the way. It even teaches you about wage slavery, but that's a topic for another day. The point is, the decision is yours. You have to make the cut, because I promise you, you can't escape wage slavery without making a sacrifice. You need time, focus, and energy to design your way out, and that starts today. The reason we need a system to escape wage slavery is because while we like to think that we are free thinkers capable of making decisions, let's not kid ourselves. If we truly were free thinkers, we wouldn't have fallen for the wage slave trap in the first place. One book that shaped my perception of personal identity is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I won't dive too deep into this book, but the key takeaway is that we're not our thoughts. We're constantly bombarded with thoughts and ideas, and we did not choose these thoughts and ideas. And I can prove it very simply. This is a bit of an experiment. So think of a memory, any memory. You don't have to tell me what it is, just have one in mind. Now, ask yourself, did you really pick it, or did your brain just throw out a few options? You have millions of memories, yet your brain selected these specific ones for you. So the deep question is, who are we really? Now, while that's a whole great philosophical discussion on its own, my point is that society, like our brains, optimize our lives for us. We don't always consciously choose. The only things we can truly choose are what we want and what we don't want. Some people love the 9-to-5 life, but if you're still watching this, that's probably not you. One idea is to write down 3 lists. The anti-vision, everything you don't want in life, the wish list, everything you do want, and a to-do list, the steps to get there. Now, this concept called the anti-vision was popularized by Dan Coe, but it actually originates from Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher, and many successful people like Tim Ferriss and Warren Buffett have used similar approaches to design their lives. Yet, did school ever teach us this? Of course not. By creating an image of what you don't want, your anti-vision, and what you do want, your dream life, your mind starts to finding ways to move forward the latter and avoiding the former. Now, the third list, your to-do list, is the bridge between them. Creating a personal system, it's sort of like planning a trip. You need a structured plan, like where you want to go and how to get there. Your anti-vision clarifies what to avoid, and your wish list defines what you're striving for. And your to-do list provides the steps to achieve it. Now, these lists, they're not set in stone. They evolve over time. You don't know everything yet because obviously you haven't experienced everything. So for example, a lot of people dream about, lying on the beach all day, but those who tried it, they realize very quickly that it gets boring. Now, your checklist, it will change as you figure out what works and what doesn't. So, what tool should you use to write down these lists? So there is no one-size-fits-all tool for this system. Use whatever works the best for you, whether it's a physical notebook, or maybe you use Evernote, Google Keep, or even the built-in Notes app on your phone. Personally, I prefer simple solutions that sync between devices, like Apple Notes. here's how I apply these lists. So in the anti-vision, I figure that I don't want to be physically or mentally weak. So my wish list is that I want to prioritize sleep, exercise, and nutrition. And the to-do list is to research back pain solutions, find exercises, and create a workout routine. Now, your lists may be very long, but prioritize them. For example, if escaping the 9 to 5 is your top anti-vision item, making enough money to achieve that should also be on your wish list. Even lower priority items matter. If poor sleep leads to mental fatigue, fixing it will help you work more efficiently towards your goals. So for me, escaping wage slavery has been a process of trial and error over the years. My to-do list has changed a lot. Like, I once tried to write a book, and I actually self-published a book about growing a YouTube channel. It was in Swedish, it's not for you. It was the only book on the topic at the time, and I enjoyed making YouTube videos more than writing, but I did learn a lot from the experience itself. Then I went into crypto trading. I spent about 3 years trading crypto, hoping to make a fortune. It did quite work out as I envisioned, and I shared thoughts about that in my video. I sold all my crypto for this. And then I've been experimenting a lot with passive income, and I have tried a lot of different income streams, which I detailed in my video, 8 Passive Income Ideas to Escape Wage Slavery. And now I'm trying to start a business. About a month ago, I launched it, and the checklist is massive. Setting up the business, learning accounting, invoicing, researching digital storefronts. And ironically, despite my university education in economics, I had to learn everything about running a business from scratch. So yeah, that's kind of funny. So whenever I feel lost, I return to my 3 lists: the anti-vision, the wish list, and the to-do list. This system helps me stay focused and avoid falling back into the wage slave mentality. It's my personal revolution, a way to design, plan, and execute my escape from wage slavery. As always, thank you for listening. Do me a favor and tap that like button to show your support. Subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. Until next time, stay hungry, relentless, and strong in your journey of escaping wage slavery. Bye. Oh, you're still here. Oh, that's right. It's the behind the scenes vlog. This segment of the video is where I share more personal things. It's mostly for my subscribers, but if you're new here, you're more than welcome to join. Okay, so first, I need to make an apology. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, I did a post that I later deleted, and in that post, I shared some news about something they uncovered underneath the pyramids. After careful examination of the sources, I came to the conclusion that I shouldn't have posted it. It's probably fake. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is fake. And I'm sorry, I was just very excited when I read it myself, and I felt this deep urge to share it with everyone, okay? So it's not just you, just pretty much everyone I know. In order to get my business started, and I hope you don't mind me sharing the full behind the scenes of my work process, but I figured that by sharing my journey, you might feel inspired to do something similar, because I truly believe that starting your own business is the best way out of wage slavery. Now, I did a poll in the community tab a while ago, and it was clear to me that what is stopping you from escaping wage slavery, it isn't really the practical side of things. It's a mindset problem, and I totally get it. You think that the odds are stacked against you, that it's impossible. You don't have the capital, you don't have the knowledge, but look at me though. I'm a wage slave just like you, and I started my business completely alone. And I do get a lot of help from ChatGPT, and I'm not even exaggerating about that. AI has helped me in so many ways starting this business, and it's like for free, you know? And every day I face these new obstacles in my business, but I solve them one step at a time. And that's how today's video came about. I made a list of everything that needed to be fixed, and I tackled each step. And I also took the time to understand why I was doing it. So it's a kind of a process, like a closed loop system for personal development, where each step refines the next. And I'm currently doing a lot of research on other social media platforms. And again, forgive me for being too honest about my intentions here, but I am looking for ways to reach more people. Now, you have to understand the thing about me is that growth on social media, it isn't important to me as creating content that is meaningful or makes a difference. It's just that when you start a business and realize that you have to pay a lot of taxes, you suddenly get a very rude awakening in your quest to build a successful business. So let me put it this way. For every $10 I earn through my business, I keep around $3. And I'm not kidding. The taxes here in Sweden are wild. And I'm not going to bore you with my thoughts about, each social media platform, but let's just say I'm testing out some things to see if I can reach more people. But most social media platforms, they seem to be flooded with AI bots, and that's a problem. Now, YouTube is my favorite platform because I believe in long format content. Now, there's a lot of problems with YouTube too. For example, I hate shorts. I don't like them at all. And I think long format videos have a lot more to offer. The truth is, I think that all social media platforms have upsides and downsides. With YouTube, I sort of feel like a pro in the way how I use the platform. So for example, I don't see the trash. Okay, so for example, I don't see Mr. Beast in my feed. I have zero interest in that. I don't see those shorts because I've optimized my YouTube feed to only show content from creators that I follow and want to follow. And I believe that if you truly want to connect with people, YouTube is the best platform. And the best part, you can use it to grow a business too. I have this friend who runs his own business, and all he does here on YouTube is programming tutorials on YouTube. Through that, he gets new clients. No ads, no gimmicks, just valuable content. And that's why I'm working very hard on building something different, a YouTube course on my Patreon called The Art of Authentic Storytelling. While most courses focus on hacking the algorithm or chasing clicks, I focus on something deeper, genuine connection. And I believe that just being yourself is not only the most honest way to grow on YouTube, but it's also most effective and sustainable, No fake personas, no forced gimmicks, just real storytelling that resonates. So, between the business side of my journey and my goal to reach more people, the challenge is to keep things authentic. My mind generates ideas all the time. I see clickbait titles in my head, and I see ways to make money. And I really try to avoid the trap of being an algorithm slave. In a sense, that's just another wage slave trap, as many of you have pointed out to me. Now, the thing that I like about my newly started Patreon is that I can share all my products there for free, and my Patreons can try them out, so to speak. And wise people have said that all businesses fail with their first product. Now, if I start my first online course or digital product, I just know it's going to be bad, and that's fine. That's how it works. You make mistakes and you learn from them. But the good news is, I'm not afraid of making mistakes because failure is an old friend. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.